Good morning, folks. Finishing up my Timmy's. Just had a wonderful breakfast. Made some potatoes with fish that swims in the ocean. Salmon. And eggs and cheese, and it's very good. I want to thank every one of you for the wonderful comments that you have left on the past few videos. I wanted to answer them, but it's just too many. I do read them all. I read all the comments. I appreciate all the nice comments. Thank you very much. I think it's just too much for me to answer. It would take me hours, literally, it would take me hours to answer just from the last video alone. So I do read all the comments. Every single comment that comes in, I do read it, and I appreciate them. I want to answer all of them, but it just, like I said, just too much. But for all of you who are suffering and are going through the same stuff, or have been going through the same stuff that I've been going through, there's not much I can say. You know how I feel. I know many of you, I read your comments. You lost your parents, you lost your brothers, you lost your sister, you lost your wife, you lost your son, your daughter. I'm sorry for all the pain you're going through. Words cannot. I'm sorry. It just, I wish I could there's not, you know, in situations like this, there's not much. What are you going to say? I'm sorry. I mean, there's nothing words can do anymore. So hopefully time will heal things, but I guess you're never going to forget. It just, it's life. It's life. It is what it is. We are here for a little bit of time, and then we are gone. We are like what the Bible says when the Bible talks about the flowers of the field. They're here, or the grass of the field. They're here one day, and then they're gone tomorrow. Our life is that short. Our lifespan is very short. Before we know it, we are gone, or our loved ones are gone. You know. Not long ago, my dad was working and doing his routine and doing his thing. Then he retired, and then they moved away from me, and then life happens. You know, his health started to decline, and then one day he's just gone. He's just not here anymore. So I don't know. I know I'll be okay. I know I'll have no choice but to move on. We just can't. When a loved one dies, it's hard. It leaves you with an empty feeling, as I mentioned before. But you have no other option but to move on. There's just no other option. I mean, the other option is just to lay down and die yourself, but we can't do that. We have to keep going. We have to push forward, and then when our time comes, our time comes. My dad's death was not a surprise to God. God was not like, "Oh, he died." No, God already knew before he even created the heavens and the earth, the day, the hour, the second, the split second, the millisecond that my dad would die. And he knows the same about all of us. So all of us are here as strangers in a strange land, as Abraham was, a stranger in a strange land. And when our time comes, we will be gone. It's just the way it is. It's just the way God created us. Actually, it's not the way God created us, because we were created to live eternally until Adam and Eve sinned. And from that point forward, death entered the world. So one day death will be obliterated and will be thrown in the lake of fire. So even death one day will be gone. But until then, we live in these fragile bodies. We are here today and gone tomorrow. And when tomorrow comes, we don't know when that is, but it'll be coming. Unless Jesus comes back before that, then we shall not die. But we don't know when that's going to happen. So we have to live every day as if it's our last day. There's nothing wrong with planning for tomorrow. There's nothing wrong with planning for the future. Nothing wrong with that. Absolutely not. But the Bible is very clear. We only have today. God only gives us today to worry about. God does not want us to worry about tomorrow, because tomorrow will take care of itself. We don't have tomorrow. None of us have tomorrow. We only have today. We only have now. Yesterday is already gone. Tomorrow is not here yet. And what we have is just the now, just the present, just right now. And that's all we have. We can indeed plan for tomorrow. There's nothing wrong with that. I think what's wrong is when people plan and make plans way in advance, and they think these plans are going to be fixed and this is what's going to happen and nothing is going to change it. Excuse me. And God laughs at that, because God is in control of all things. And when you plan as if you are in control of your destiny, I think that's laughable, because none of us is in control of our destiny. We don't know what's going to happen the next second, much less the next year or 2 years. So yeah, there's nothing wrong with planning. Everybody should plan. Everybody should, especially like with food supplies and necessities. There's nothing wrong with having things on hand in case something happens. A power outage, a hurricane, a tornado, a fire, something with society. You are prepared. I live in a small space, as you know, and I always have probably 2, 3, 4 months worth of food. So I have enough stuff that I could survive in case something happens. The only thing I need to do is I need to get a water filtration system and a couple other things that will allow me to have drinking water and stuff like that. Because food, I'll have enough food to last me a long time. So there's nothing wrong with doing that. I think what's wrong is when people amass vast amounts of stuff for survival, let's say, and they beat their chest and they say, look what I have, look what I amassed. No matter what's going to happen, I will survive. And again, God laughs at that because you don't know what tomorrow brings. You could be the most prepared person in the world. You can have everything at your disposal. You can have tons and tons of food, enough to last you 100 lifetimes, and water and medication and medicine, and same as not quite the same, but and everything necessary for you to survive for hundreds of years if you could. But again, God laughs at that because you could go outside and die in a split second. You could go outside and a tree could fall on you. A tire from an airplane could fall on you. You can go to the grocery store to get more supplies and be killed in a car accident. So you could have the best shelter in the world and the best stuff in the world, but you don't know what tomorrow brings. You could still die outside your shelter. Even in your shelter, your heart can stop. You can stop breathing. Who do you think holds your heartbeat? Who do you think holds the air going into your lungs? Who do you think has that in the palm of his hands? God does. If God removes that, you are gone in a split second. So eternity is too long and life is too short. So prepare for tomorrow, but live as if you only have today, because today is all we have. And if, excuse me, and even though it's painful losing a loved one, I try to, I put it away out of my mind a little bit. I mean, I think about my dad, but every once in a while I just break down because it's not easy, and I was even upset at my dad for a little bit. I wasn't mad, I was upset because a couple years ago they came here to the United States while I was out west, and they came here just for a couple weeks, and my sister brought them here, and I was a little bit upset at my dad that he didn't take a car to go see my kids. He was saying, "Oh, we don't have a lot of money," and I said, "Listen, I'll pay for the car. It doesn't matter. Just I'll pay for the car and go there." And my mom said, "Oh, he doesn't remember things too well." I mean, the way they were talking about, and I talked to my dad, and he seemed fine. Well, I didn't realize that he was already he wasn't able to drive. His car, he had a brand new car that he took with him, and when he left for Europe, and the car on the sides was all beat up. I haven't seen it, but from what my sister told me, the car is all beat up because he just couldn't, just to get in the garage, he was hitting the sides, and he couldn't drive properly. And that's why he couldn't go see my kids, but they never told me that. I didn't realize why he couldn't do it. Now I do, but at the time I was a little upset at my dad because he didn't take the time to go see my kids. But that's all I got.
Yeshua, Jesus, said to her, "I am the resurrection and the life. He who believes in me will live even if he dies, and everyone who lives and believes in me will never die. Do you believe this? John 11, 25, 26.